Good evening. Thank you for joining us, our in-person and our online viewers, for our board meeting, the last one of this month. The time now is 6:11 in the evening. May we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight, may we remain standing, and we want to offer the opportunity for Pastor Bedingfield to come forward and actually do a prayer tonight.
Father, we come before you with great humility tonight, thanking you for your kindness, your grace, and your mercy. Lord, I thank you for the board tonight and Dr. Bullard for allowing us to pray tonight, the one true God. And Lord, we just pray tonight that your blessings would be upon this meeting, continue to be upon this school, and Lord, continue to be upon this community. Give us wisdom and guidance. Thank you, Lord, for Jesus tonight, and Lord, whom we have redemption. Lord, guide us, use us for your glory. And we pray this in the name of Christ. Amen.
Man, thank you so much, Pastor Bedingfield. And I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you, and to the Mount Zion Church family for allowing us to be in your home, your worship, your place of worship. We take not the opportunity for granted, and we appreciate your hospitality. We thank Dr. Bullitt once again for an amazing idea to tour our county, our great county of Twiggs. Every district, and we're proud to be in District 2 tonight under the leadership and representation of our board member, District 12 representative for the state, as well as our District 2 representative here in Twiggs County, Ms. Teresa Blackshear. Thank you so much. Great district, as all of them are, and we are ready now to get into our agenda. But before we do that, I'd like to have a motion from the board to approve tonight's agenda. I'll give you a quick second to look over it to make sure that all is well. So moved. Motion's been properly made by Ms. Blackshear. May I have a second? Second. Motion has been seconded by our vice chair, Mr. Rouse. Is there any discussion at this time? Again, this motion is to approve tonight's agenda. If there should be no discussion, I'll know you by saying aye or raising your right hand. Any opposes? No opposes. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you, board, for approving our agenda for tonight. We will proceed as it is presented before us. At this time, I would like for you to review, as we already have prior to tonight's meeting, the approval of our minutes for our May 11th Board of Education regular session meeting. Board members, I do want to point your attention to a minor correction, and that correction would be the approval of district requests presented by Dr. Bullard. That motion was 3-1, not unanimous. Should there be any other corrections or concerns on that, on those minutes? Yes, proceed. Okay. There's another correction noted by District 3 board member, Ms. Rhonda King, that the board chair's name is printed as our former chair, not our current chair. Are there any other corrections noted or seen? And we'll present the called board meeting executive discussion call meeting at our next board meeting, our second Tuesday in June. Proceed. Thank you. Have a second.
Second.
Motions are properly made by Ms. King, seconded by Ms. Blackshear. Should there be any discussion? There's no discussion. We have noted 2 corrections in those minutes, and we will accept those minutes with the necessary corrections. We will present the final draft of those minutes at our next board meeting. Should there be no further discussion, all in favor, I know you by saying aye, or raising your right hand. Aye. Any opposes? That motion carries unanimously. At this time, we'll ask for an ethics statement by Ms. Teresa Blackshear.
Thank you. In accordance with regulations set forth by the Georgia Ethics Commission, it is the duty of every board member to avoid both conflict of interest and interest of such conflict. Does any board member have any known conflict of interest? Seeing none, Mr. Chair, we will proceed with our agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Blackshear. At this time, we'll have board comments and remarks. I would like to offer the opportunity for Ms. Blackshear, as we sit in her district tonight, to offer her board comments first.
I'd like to say thank you, Mount Zion. Thank you to the great pastor. Thank you to everyone that came out to support us during our board meeting. We really appreciate you. It does take a village for our children. And we're one team, one goal. And guess what? You're a part of our team. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Blackshear. Should there be any other board comments from any other board members?
Yes, I think we should have had Mr. Dixon at our senior graduation. He should have been the one handing out the diplomas, since he had spent 8 years mastering these children.
Thank you. Any other board member comments? Seeing none, Dr. Bullard, I offer you the opportunity at this time for superintendent's comments and remarks. Thank you.
Again, good evening to I do have some celebrate graduation. Thank you for the amazing community. Commencement this past Friday night, we celebrated, and I had the privilege of celebrating my first graduation in Twiggs County. And to say that I was impressed with the spirit of excellence that was demonstrated by our staff and our graduates would be saying the least. It was out. It was truly a sacred ceremony. Once again, I want to congratulate the class of 2021 for remaining focused and vigilant during the pandemic and completing the goal of graduation. If we have any graduates, or parents, or grandparents present, please stand so that we can recognize you. Any parents, any grandparents of any of the graduates, please stand so we can recognize you. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Having completed graduation, we are now turning our attention to our summer learning opportunity program. We have created an exciting curriculum in a camp-like format throughout which our scholars can recoup some of the learning loss that have been stolen by the pandemic. And as they can do so in a safe, productive, and an engaging environment. The summer school program starts this Friday, May the 28th, and we'll pause on Memorial Day, but then it will resume on June the 1st through June the 25th. Also, our summer feeding program is also slated to start this Friday as well on our campus for our students, and our mobile program will begin on Tuesday, June the 1st. So Friday, the summer feeding program starts on the campus. Food to be picked up at the campus. But on June the 1st, the mobile service will begin. We currently have a survey out in the field to make sure that we are serving all of the Twiggs County children under the age of 17. We invite our parents to please visit the school district website or our social media sites and complete the survey so that we can generate excellence through our summer feeding program. And finally, we are so excited to announce that the Twiggs County High School alumni and Atlanta Falcons cornerback, Mr. Darquez Denard, is returning home to Twiggs County with his Denard Difference Foundation this Saturday, May the 29th. The Denard Difference's mission is to help youth of all ages succeed academically, athletically, and within the community by providing safe havens, educational opportunities, athletic resources, and developing life skills necessary for youth to excel in their future endeavors. One of the resources that Mr. Denard uses is a Middle Georgia Spartans plan, which is the football program that he created for our youth to help them to develop discipline, critical skills, time management skills, and to promote realistic school, sports, and life balance. They learn how to prioritize, and multitask, and excel in realizing their dreams. Again, that program starts on this coming Saturday from 9 o'clock. It begins. The tryouts begin at 10. It'll be on the Twiggs County High School football complex field, 375 Watson Road, Jeffersonville, Georgia. And we welcome the community to bring their kids out and to enjoy a day with our. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and that does conclude.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bullard, for all of our celebrations and acknowledgments for this great district of Twiggs, as we are one team, one goal. Thank you so much, board members. I want to, if I will, Dr. Bullard, or if I may, just commend you for an awesome commencement. Very well done. And the students, the excitement was felt throughout the stadium. Very well put. We are proud to graduate every graduating class, but this graduation was really sweet, and we want to continue in excellence as the commencement exercises were top of the line, and I was very impressed. So thank you so much for a job well done. And thank you to the team. As I shared with you over the weekend, our team did a phenomenal job making sure that we had a seamless commencement, and I appreciate each of you for what you do for our district. So thank you so much, because listen, there's a lot of work that goes into production, and we had a seamless production. So thank you so much for your time and your efforts. Thank you. At this time, Dr. Bullard, if you don't have any other comments or recognitions, or if there should not be any concerns before the board moves on, at this time, I'd like to move us into our business agenda. All right. Our first item on our business agenda, business item A, approval of certified, classified, and administrative salary schedules for FY 2022. This is an action item, and this will be presented by Mr. James Austin, our great CFO in Twiggs County Public School System. Good evening, Mr. Austin.
Good evening. Good evening, board chair,
Good evening.
vice chair, Superintendent Dr. Bullard, constituents of the community, and to the great leadership of this church. Thank you again for allowing us to come to your sanctuary. I want to talk about and revisit our salary schedule that were presented on last board meeting, our call session, the prior board meeting. And I want to be able to present something for approval for you all. I think we had a great conversation around the salary schedules and supplements, how they were developed, the research behind them. I'm very excited about where it's going to take our district improving our certified schedule by 3% for our teachers. Our classified schedule is improved by 3%, and all of our administrators have a placement schedule to show growth and trajectory as we continue to build for capacity and retention. But before I show you what we presented, I want to talk about who we are. Our vision, generating excellence, one team, one goal. Our mission, to inspire, challenge, and prepare all students to compete globally. The administrative scheduling of the supplements is presented on a pay grade. It highlights every key administrative position that we have identified in the district, a corresponding starting salary and an ending salary. For illustrative purposes, you'll see that it can potentially go from 0 to 21 years, as our other salary schedule has in the past. We also have our miscellaneous or other supplements, and it has a base amount and also ending amount as well. That provides an opportunity for our supplements to increase over time for cost of living adjustments and things of that nature. So we're very proud to present an administrative schedule that allows everyone to see where they're going, how they're going, and where they can possibly end up. The classified schedule has been done the same way. It allows us to talk about each position as it relates to classified. And classified are normally positions that are non-certificated, meaning they're not teaching in the classroom or have that type of certificate. And each position has been listed as well. And this schedule was improved by 3%. And we talked about the teaching certified schedule. We have increased across all steps by 3% and improved our local supplements. We have always knew that we have some of the best employees in this area, in this state, and we found it not robbery to ensure that we continue to be competitive, and we have built-in retention models such as this. Board members, this is the presentation as it was presented last board meeting. Is there any question or concerns I can entertain about these three schedules?
Board members, do you have any questions for Mr. Austin? If there should be none, as an action item, we want to take this, move on it tonight. Dr. Bullock, what is your recommendation?
Mr. Chair, I recommend that the board approve the certified, classified, and administrative salary schedules for FY 2022 as presented by our CFO, Mr.
Thank you, Dr. Bullock. At this time, I'll ask for a motion from the board to approve the certified, classified, and administrative salary schedules for FY 2022.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make the motion to approve the certified classified administrative salary schedule for 2021 that was presented and recommended by superintendent.
FY
I second.
2022.
Sorry, FY 2022.
Motion's been properly made by Ms. Blackshear, seconded by Ms. King. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, I'll know you by saying aye, raising your right hand. Any opposes? No opposes. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Austin, for our balanced and well-presented salary schedule for FY 2022. At this time, we will move to business agenda B, approval of athletic supplements. This is an action item also by our CFO, Mr. James Austin.
Thank you. As in the past, we presented the high school sports by program, position, and supplement amount, and also what season it normally takes place. As we scroll through, you'll see the various programs, and this has been prepared and researched, implemented by our athletic director. I'm taking forth the recommendation brought from that department and seeking approval. Any questions or concerns about the athletic supplements for the middle and high school sports?
Board members, do you have any questions for Mr. Austin? If not, Dr. Bullock, what is your recommendation?
Mr. Chair, I recommend that the board approves athletic supplements as presented by our Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Austin.
Thank you, Dr. Bullock. At this time, I ask for a motion to approve our athletic supplements presented previously as an information item and tonight as an action item. If there should be no discussion, I'll ask for that motion at this time.
Chair, offer motion to approve the athletic supplement.
Thank you, Vice Chair. May I have a second?
Second.
Motion has been properly made by Vice Chair Mr. Rao, seconded by Ms. Baxter. Should there be any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, I'll know you by saying aye, raising your right hand. Aye. Any opposers? No opposers. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Austin. Again, Mr. Austin, our business agenda item C, approval of copiers lease. This is an action item as we have been presented with the information prior to tonight.
Thank you. I wanted to take the opportunity to survey our key stakeholders and operators of our current fleet of copiers. I think it's very important that we get information for those who use it best. From my position as a CFO, my primary job is to say yes or no, so not operate the copy machine. So I wanted to have valuable input. So before this was approved, I wanted to show you the data that we collect through our survey. So we surveyed 25 individuals, and that included employees at the school level, central office, administrators, clerical staff, and anyone that was a primary user of the system. And we had 12 responses from that survey. So just to talk through a few of the key data points. One of the questions that we asked, what is your current work location? We wanted to make sure that everyone had the opportunity to be represented. And they did respond according to each location. So we do have representation from each school level and central office. Also the question, do you feel your current copier is sufficient for your department? An overwhelming majority said yes. As we move forward, another question, is it important to have color copiers? 75% strongly agreed with that. For an average week, how often do you print color copies? Most of the responses was very often. So this tells me that if we don't have a color copier in our schools and central office, I'll be in trouble. I want to make sure that we get that information and get that to the right people as that process is happening. Let's move forward. Is it important for the copier to have the ability to staple papers? Majority said yes, they strongly agree. Is it important for the copier to have saddle stitch capabilities? Now I've learned that this is a binding technique with a package to be put together. So with the production that our team does, this is a very important quality that makes their job a lot smoother as they produce the products and package for our district and school levels. How often do you print on cardstock or heavier paper? And most of them said sometimes. Is it important for the option to be included on the copier for my department? Most of those responses were yes, they strongly agreed. As we look at the bar graph, one of the key things that was said is that they wanted a fax option to be included in the copying machine, on the copiers. And this allows us to have a centralized location for all of our printing and faxing solutions. And we asked what other things are considered that we may not have asked a question about. So an option for multitask use, scanning and faxing abilities, binding, color printing, faxing and stapling capabilities, speed. The office need the ability to use stronger cardstock, office printing solutions for better privacy. There were responses that they have confidential items that they would like to be printed in a more secure environment opposed to an open printing solution. Also, that the teachers need to have an opportunity to print from their desktops, and that the old ones or our current fleet are currently worn out. Using this data, we will use this information to ensure that as we are vetting our vendors that apply from our request for proposal, RFP process, that we have this data to ensure that our teachers, stakeholders are getting the current fleet that's coming up, getting everything they deserve. So they will be the user, and I want to ensure they're happy with what we purchase. Are there any questions or concerns about the request for proposal, RFP for the copier lease for our new fleet?
I would just like to say thank you for doing the survey. For the people that use it, gave you great feedback.
Yes.
Any other questions or comments to Mr. Austin? If not, Superintendent Bullock, what is your recommendation?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to recommend that the copier's lease request for proposals is approved, so that we can begin that process.
Board, we've heard the superintendent's recommendation. At this time, I'll ask for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I offer motion to approve the copier lease RFP that presented by Mr. Austin.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Motion's been properly made by Vice Chair Rouse. Can I have a second?
I second.
Motion's been properly seconded by Ms. King. Is there any discussion? No discussion. I'll know you by saying aye, raising your hand. Let me know you approve this motion. Any opposes? No opposes. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Austin. At this time, we'll move to business agenda item D, presentation of United Way of Central Georgia partnership proposal. This is an information item. Dr. Bullock, would you like to do the introduction?
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. Board members, I'd like to have an opportunity to introduce to you all the Vice President of Education of United Way of Central Georgia, Dr. Sheldon Land. He's going to present the partnership proposal for United Way of Central Georgia to partner with the Twiggs County Public Schools and United Way. Dr. Land.
So being that I'm a little fun size, give me a moment to lower this microphone, you know, when you just fun size, but just work with me. And so I'm gonna make this kind of like a speed dating with this presentation here, and just give a little bit of background about the United Way of Central Georgia, where our mission and goal is really to disrupt the cycle of family with that in the communities. But we do that by partnering with school districts, with the community, just to help bring a lot of value add and to mobilize individuals. And so back in 2014, United Way moved from its traditional way of just fundraising and giving out funds to people. We moved to more of a collective impact model, and that is where we identified social complex issues. And we started out in Bibb, and we looked across the whole central Georgia region. And the two complex social issues that we identified were high school graduation rates and grade level reading. And because we knew and we learned that students who are not reading on grade level by the end of the fourth grade are less likely to graduate. And so then we also looked at complex social issues cannot be solved by one single organization or a simple recipe. And so we looked, how could we, as a united way, begin to move and to help move the needle around this, bring our community impact, which is an effective way to address complex social issues, economic issues, and education challenges. And so we looked at, this is why reading matters. Because again, reading proficiently by the end of the third grade is the most important predictor of high school graduation and career success. Up until the third grade, students are learning to read. After that, they are reading to learn. And so we said to ourselves, what can we as a united way do? Hence, I'm not a digital native. Is there a clicker? You the clicker? Okay, you can go ahead. So we looked at these things and said, this we wanted to do. So we started programming a Birth to 8 initiative is what we started. And so our Reunited program, which you just seen, really sits under this Birth to 8 continuum. And our vision for our Birth to 8 initiative, the United Way, was that all children are born healthy, thriving by 3 years old, and ready to start school by 5 years old, and reading to learn by 8 years old. That is our Birth to 8 initiative, because we know that the earlier you start, you catch them, that will increase your graduation, that impacts your graduation rate. So within our Birth to 8 initiative, we have our First Steps program, which is our First Steps. They visit, do screenings with parents to identify goals and resources that parents may need. And then that moves into our Parents as Teachers program, which is a home visiting program. So we have 4 parent educators that go out and meet with parents, again, to help them reach their goals, promote literacy early with their children, reading to their children, ages and stages. And then we move over into the grade level reading, which is our Read United program, which houses 2 school-based tutorial programs, our AARP Experience Core, which is the 50 and older. That is a evidence-based and research-based program that has a lot of historical pieces and is very credited, and it's a national program. Then we have our local program, our Read to Succeed, which is 18 and older. So they both model each other, built off the standards of Experience Core and their model. And so that's our grade level reading, which addresses, and we tackle K through 3rd grade. But because of all of the educational recovery that's going on this year, we'll be extending those services to 4th and 5th grade to help school districts and partner with school districts across the central Georgia region to help our students to recover some of the educational loss that has happened because of the digital divide and the lack of equity. As I heard earlier at the town hall, and some kids, we learned during this pandemic, it revealed a lot that all internet is not made equal. So we learned that. And so that's that. Slide, please. Thank you. So with that, we do have, again, our school-based tutorial programs. And this is our pathways to engage. This is how we engage our volunteers. This is how we engage the community when we think about what does this bring? What does the United Way bring to the community? We bring that community engagement, that ownership, that investment from the community with our corporate sponsors who give to the United Way, such as a Geico, such as an Academy Sports, our faith-based community, reaching out across our community to get people to engage and to increase the volunteerism in the community, to give, to serve, to help our students. It's really reading support. We use the word tutor, but it's reading support. And it's very intentional and structured and deliberate in what we do. Slide. All right. Now, since 2015, some of our results, we have had over 1,156 volunteer tutors, have supported 2,849 K through 3rd grade students in 14 schools, serving a total of 1,575 classrooms. That is what United Way has done through our Read United program, and that is just in the county of Bibb alone and 1 school in Houston County. But again, because of the pandemic and the things, we've taken this opportunity to pivot and to expand our reach into more of our rural counties and to extend these opportunities and to bring this support. And again, to partner with school districts to say, how can we help? How can we reinforce what you are doing? And I like to use the analogy that we as a program, we're really the nurse practitioners. And so the educators and the school staff are the doctors. So we want to be there to help support that and to undergird that with that. And so we use a structured tutoring model. And so we work with those students that are on the bubble, those students that need that extra, there's a little bit of attention could get them back to where they need to be. These are students on tier 2, students that, again, just some extra reading, some support. And what makes us stand out is that human element. We bring that human element. I think now as the world has changed and we are being more digitized, there's a lot of programs that are online, or students are more like online in those programs, but having that caring adult next to you, I think that's what we do. And then we focus on the social emotional learning, because even as adults, we continue to engage in social emotional learning. And it's intergenerational with highly trained tutors that are 50 and older. They give about 2 hours a week while I read United Tutors 18 and older. And those are our college students that we engage, our college students or working professionals or some retired professionals that still want to give, but they still want to dictate how their time is used. So they give about an hour a week for the entire school year. So we ask for that commitment, and they serve working with the same student, that pair and that relationship. And so what that does is it touches students in a way and data that doesn't always show up in numbers, but that data like that confidence, building that joy of reading, saying that, yes, you can, we know you can, and that goes a long, long way. And again, it's research-based. It's a 30-minute structured tutoring session that we use. All volunteers are trained, background checked, and all of that before they come into the school. Slide, please. And so the impact on students, increased reading practice time with a meaningful ear through human interaction, increasing reading scores and grades, social and emotional learning, mentoring, confidence building again, and the community impact, addressing school readiness and grade level reading, which has become a rallying cry for many across a lot of communities, and an increased understanding amongst the community about the importance of grade level reading, and then the heightened awareness of reading for the local businesses, the civic and individual investment, and what does that return on that investment look like? And then we have our service learning, and that is where we touch our college students, and again, some of our retired folk, some of our working professionals, and so forth. Slide, please. So our volunteer profile again, these are individuals that come from all across the community. They come from all across the community. We engage everyone, and I think that is the value that the United Way brings. Being able to bring that piece to a community, to rally, to raise awareness, raise the profile that, yes, we're doing great things. We just had our Golden Eagle Awards where, at the end, we always want to recognize excellence in students that are doing well. And so, those are the scholarships that we give at the end. And I think that those are the certain things, again, that the United Way brings to the table. Next slide. And so the networking and staying connected, these are all the pieces to the puzzle that makes it work. And there's a quote here by Winston Churchill that I love. It says, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. And so that always stands out to me. And I just love that quote. That's why I put it on the slide. Next slide, please. And again, the students get a community's return on investment. So for the last 5 years, we're actually going into our 6th year. This is the return on the investment. Volunteers who volunteer their time have given over 21,000 volunteer hours. But when you look at the value of those hours, that equates to over $500,000 of free people time, just contributing time, contributing their dedication, their efforts. And that is what we do at the United Way. We live united. We ask that you all live united with us. We are looking forward to really partnering with the Twiggs County School District and really working together to build out and to reinforce what you all are doing down in Twiggs. It's fabulous, fabulous community. Thank you. I will yield any questions if anyone has any questions. But let me thank my clicker. Thank you, Mr. Clicker. I appreciate it. Are there any questions? Or?
Thank you, Dr. Shelton Land from United Way of Central Georgia. We are looking forward to this great partnership as, along with the many others that Dr. Bullock has already presented in his first 30 days being in the district. So we're looking forward to many more partnerships to come, but we're certainly grateful for your time being here tonight with us and doing a fabulous presentation of what literacy is to a county like Twiggs. And we're looking forward and seeing the residuals of this partnership. So thank you again. Next business agenda item, item E, our summer opportunity program update. This is an information item. This will be coming from Ms. Miriam Reardon.
Good evening, Board Chair Harris, Vice
evening.
Chair Rouse, esteemed board members, stakeholders, including Mount Zion Baptist Church, for allowing us to be here. I am Mimi Reardon, and I will be presenting the final information concerning our summer learning experience. This experience aligns with our vision, generating excellence, one team, one goal, and our mission to inspire, challenge, and prepare all students to compete globally. The start date, it's been mentioned before, is May 28th, 2021. From 9 o'clock a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. It is for our pre-K through 12th grade, Monday through Friday. Bus routes will run as scheduled by our transportation department. Breakfast, lunch, and snack will be served by our food service department. Buildings will be ready and cleaned daily by our custodial department. Maintenance will be scheduled to work around school schedule by the maintenance department. We're going to start with Twiggs County High School, their Summer Opportunity Credit Recovery Program. Each student will have a personalized learning pathway to success created by the counselors through Edgenuity. The pathway will be created based on the pre-assessment they will be given in Edgenuity. The pre-assessment determines the standards they will need to master the course. There will be 2 90-minute sessions and 2 45-minute sessions. Sessions will be assigned according to course grades. And this is delineated through this slide. The final course grade, if they have a final course grade of 60 to 69, then they will be required to attend 1 90-minute session. If they have a final course grade below 60, it will require 1 90-minute session and 1 45-minute session in order to complete the required standards for their course. Direct instruction from teacher and/or direct instruction from Edgenuity. They will have independent work sessions, and they will also have opportunities for enrichment if their credits are met on time. Their orientation will be on May 28th. It will include schedules, their computer logins, their course orientation, logistics, and their pre-assessment for each of the courses. Families have been notified of the program, and personal invitations have been sent out to students. This is a full student day from 9 to 2 with breakfast, orientation, pre-assessment after the orientation period, lunch, and additional learning opportunities that day. Students are expected to attend all 20 days. Students must adhere to attendance and discipline policies, or the opportunity to recover their credits or remediate their credits will be terminated. For the middle school, their summer learning and enrichment experience will be using multiple data points to determine the students included in the summer school program. Their Lexile, course grades, milestone grades, letters have been sent home inviting the students who need to attend. There are approximately 13 teachers who are working with the middle school students, and they're specialized in their subject areas. The class sizes will be small, preferably below 15 students. May 28th, again, will start with orientation, then students will receive schedules and proceed to their first period class. Students will be getting familiar with their expectations in the class and will take a pre-assessment and then start instruction. Their curriculum at the middle school consists of Moby Max, a reading, math, science, and social studies curriculum. It is evidence-based. It is an engaging curriculum for improving student outcomes and closing learning gaps. It includes direct instruction, immediate feedback, progress monitoring, and it is data-driven. They will also utilize Scholastic Literacy Pro. It's a management tool for independent and instructional reading, providing purposeful and effective reading strategies with data to inform instruction. They will also have additional math resources such as BoardWorks, which is an interactive, customizable digital tool with extension activities, student practice, and authentic problem solving and modeling. Additional data will be tracked through our STAR Renaissance program. Their enrichment program will consist of team sports of various types, the possibility of sewing, cooking, DJ basics, photography, self-defense, musical, theater, drama, debate. They will have schedules that rotate through the grade levels, through ELA, math, and enrichment throughout the day. And then finally, our Jeffersonville Elementary School, their summer learning enrichment program. The students are selected according to grade level teacher recommendation and using end-of-year data. The selection will be students with learning loss that can be remediated during the 20 days of summer learning to prepare them from continuing into next school year with a plan to continue to close these learning gaps by November 2021. The expectations for the program will be covered in a letter and during the orientation on May 28th. On May 28th, after orientation, students will begin their rotating schedule, including literacy, math, and enrichment activities. The Summer Learning and Enrichment Program at Jeffersonville Elementary, data will be monitored regularly to ensure student progress. The curriculum that they will be using is iReady curriculum. It is evidence-based curriculum to support every learner to achieve at all levels, to achieve the greatest possible gains. They will also be utilizing MobyMax. Again, it's an evidence-based, engaging curriculum for improving student outcomes and closing learning gaps, including direct instruction, immediate feedback, progress monitoring, and it is data-driven. They will also utilize Success Coach, which is a targeted instruction and practice. They will be evaluated weekly with progress updates that will be sent home with students on Fridays. Within the Summer Learning and Enrichment Program, I said that it was pre-K through 12th grade. Our pre-K through first grade will have a certified teacher and a paraprofessional in the room working with the students in small groups. For grades 2 through 5, they will utilize 2 certified teachers in the room. One will be teaching, the other supporting to ensure small group instruction and just-in-time intervention and attention. And then they will switch their curriculum. They will switch their content areas. Support teachers will also work in the classes who have students who are needing support, such as an IEP or specialized support when necessary. Enrichment activities will be conducted each day and will be varied during each day and during each week. The pre-K that I mentioned, they will, with that certified teacher and a parapro working with the students, their instruction will follow the Bright from the Start expectations, but this program is funded through a special grant that was applied for by the elementary school and that they obtained. The pre-K program is an extended program due to the expectations of this grant. It will continue after the 25th of June. It will go, the next session will be July the 5th through the 9th. It will not be that last week in June due to the district being closed for that week. And then the final week will be July 12th through the 15th. Transportation for this will be provided through the grant. Breakfast, lunch, and snack will be provided through the grant as well. And the staff is also provided through this grant. At this time, I will entertain any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Ms. Reardon.
Thank you.
We are certainly looking forward to this opportunity, this great opportunity for our scholars to have the opportunity to enhance their abilities to continue learning through the summer and also recoup some of that learning loss due to COVID. So we're appreciative of this summer opportunity, and thank you for the work that you do in that department. As there's some grant fundings that assisted us with this, so thank you so much. As we see a need, and we did something about the need, and I hope that summer opportunities are something we can continue to look forward to throughout the years. As learning loss is big right now, and so I know that math and reading is important, and I pray that we have 100% participation from our district. So thank you. Listen, if you have grandchildren, children, make sure they're in summer opportunities and Twiggs. Some nieces and nephews, make sure they're there all 20 days. All right, moving on to business agenda item F. Board policy, GBIA, teacher evaluation appeals. This is a first reading. Information item, Dr. Bullard.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. During this legislative session, there have been amendments to 2 of the laws that impact public schools, and we are required by law to act by July the 1st, 2021, in reference to these legislative acts. We have presented to you our corrections as required by law to our current policy, and I've asked Ms. Cannon Hill, one of our attorneys from Jones Court, if she would present these 2 legislative updates for us for first reading.
Good evening, Garrett,
Good evening.
members of the board, superintendent. You guys. All right, our first policy up for first reading tonight is policy TIA. This is the teacher evaluation appeals. The legislature amended OCGA 20-2-878. July 1st. It requires all school systems in Georgia to prepare a policy outlining the appeal process for teachers who have accepted their 4th consecutive contract within the school district, within that particular school district. There are 3 topics that can be appealed. One is the summative performance rating of unsatisfactory or ineffective contained in the personnel evaluations conducted through the peak evaluation process. Number 2 is procedural deficiencies on the part of the local school system in conducting an evaluation under Georgia law. And 3 is job performance. The statute further requires the district to submit a copy of its appeal policy to the Georgia Department of Education no later than July 1st, 2021, and anytime this policy is amended, the district is required to update the Georgia Department of Education. We have provided Dr. Bullard with the submit this policy to the Georgia Department of Education. We are bringing it to first reading. So the district next steps will be for the district to post policy GBIA to receive input from board members and stakeholders for 30 days. This policy will then be brought to the next available board meeting for adoption. Any questions on GBIA?
Thank you. Next on our business agenda item is item G. This is the board policy BCBI. This is in reference to public participation update. This is our first reading also. This is an information item. Again, introduction by Dr. Mac Bullard.
Again, Attorney Cannon Hill will present this legislative update as well to our current board policy, BCBI, public participation.
Policy BCBI is updated to comply with the recently amended OCGA 20-2-58C. And this law also goes into effect on July 1st, 2021. This revised law requires that each local board of education provide a public comment hearing during each regularly scheduled board meeting, and further provides that a local board of education shall not require notice by an individual more than 24 hours prior to the meeting as a condition of of addressing the local board during such public period. The district's current BCBI policy provides for public comment, but requires at least 5 days' notice prior to the meeting that the comments will be made. Therefore, amendments to the current policy BCBI are necessary to comply with this new law, which goes into effect July 1st. Their next steps, the district will post the amended policy BCBI and the related BCBI-R, which is the regulations that contains the procedures to address the board. And this will provide the public with an opportunity to comment. And we will bring this same policy back to the board at the next available.
Thank you, Ms. Hill. Any questions? Thank you again. Thank you for being here with us. At this time, board, have I omitted anything on our business agenda? Board members, do you have any questions or concerns on anything that has been presented tonight? Dr. Bullard, have I omitted anything on our business agenda presented?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We've covered all of the business agenda items that have been presented for tonight's board meeting.
Thank you, Dr. Bullard. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to enter into executive session.
Mr. Chair, I make the motion we exit into executive session for personnel matters.
This motion has been properly made by Teresa Blackshear, District 2. May I have a second?
Second motion.
Motion has been properly seconded by Vice Chair, Mr. Rouse. Is there any discussion? Again, this motion is to move from public session to executive session. Should there be no discussion, I'll know you by saying aye, raising your hand. Any opposes? No opposes. That motion carries unanimously. At this time, we will enter into executive session. Thank you so much for our viewers in person and online as we exit this session, and we will return with recommendations from our superintendent, and we will publicly acknowledge those in your presence. Thank you. Extend the opportunity for the board to present a motion to move us from executive session to public session.
So moved.
Motion's been properly made by District 2 Board Representative Ms. Blackshear. Have a second.
Second.
Motion's been properly seconded by Vice Chair. Any discussion? There's no discussion. I'll know you by saying aye, raising your hand if you approve this motion. Any opposes? No opposes. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you for a good executive session, Dr. Bullard, as we discuss personnel matters. At this time, I call the board's attention to our at this time, I have a motion to accept the superintendent's recommendation for appointment and new hire for the position of assistant superintendent. Motion's been properly made. May I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been properly second. Any discussion? Should there be no discussion, may I know you by saying aye, raising your hand if you accept this motion.
Aye.
Any opposes? No opposes. That motion carries unanimously. At this time, I'd like for a motion to accept the resignation for bus driver.
So moved.
Motion's been properly made by Ms. Blackshear. May I have a second? Motion's been properly second. Any discussion? No discussion. I know you by saying aye, raising your hand if you approve this motion.
Aye.
Any opposes? No opposes. That motion carries unanimously. At this time, we'll ask for a motion to accept the contract renewals for 2 employees. Should there be any discussion? No discussion. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion's been properly made by Ms. King. May I have a second?
Second motion.
Second motion by the Vice Chair, Mr. Rouse. Any discussion? No discussion. I know you by saying aye, raising your hand if you approve this motion. No opposes. That motion carries unanimously. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the resignations of 2 employees.
Chair offer motion that, accept the resignation of the two employees.
Motion has been properly made by Vice Chair. Mr. Rouse, may I have a second?
Second.
Second motion by Ms. Blackshear. Any discussion? No discussion. I know you by saying aye, raising your hand. Aye. No opposed. That motion carries unanimously. Dr. Bullard, is there any other recommendations that I may have omitted that we need to address tonight before adjournment?
Mr. Chair, I want to say thank you to the board for supporting the school district with their action items tonight and approval of the certified classified administrator salary schedules, the athletic supplements, and copy of lease requests for proposals. I want to thank the board as well for their unanimous support of the appointment of Dr. Chandrina Griffin Stewart as our new Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning, and the other personnel decisions from personnel that separating from the school district. We do appreciate your support as we continue to make the best decisions possible to inspire, challenge, and prepare our students to move forward. And at this point, I have no more for the board to consider.
Thank you, Dr. Bullard. Have I omitted anything, board? If not, at this time, I entertain a motion to adjournment.
I'll make that motion.
Motion been properly made by Ms. Stokes. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. King. Is there any discussion? No discussion. I know you by saying aye, raising your hand if you approve this motion.
Aye.
This motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Have a good night.